photosynthesis, oxygen is released. So oxygen is released during photosynthesis, you all know about it. The question is, oxygen released during photosynthesis, listen carefully, oxygen released during photosynthesis comes from CO2, water, both, none of these, because both contains oxygen. The question is, oxygen released during photosynthesis comes from CO2 or water or both? Tell me. Very famous question. Yes, absolutely right, guys. You are absolutely right. Not both. It is water. So oxygen released during photosynthesis. Very important. Oxygen released or liberated during photosynthesis. Oxygen released during photosynthesis comes from water. Comes from water, not CO2. This is very important question. Please remember, never forget it. Okay. We will discuss how water is produced during photosynthesis in the steps of photosynthesis a little later, don't worry. Here you just remember, oxygen liberated during photosynthesis comes from water. Okay. Yes. Now next question we have. The next question is wavelength of light absorbed during photosynthesis. Tell me, what is the range of wavelength of light absorbed during photosynthesis? 400 to 700 nanometer. So this range of wavelength is absorbed during photosynthesis. So suppose question is, the wavelength of light absorbed during photosynthesis is 400 to 700 nanometer. Here nm is equal to nanometer. So this wavelength of light is absorbed during photosynthesis. Rest is reflected back. Okay. Yes, 400 to 700. Yes, absolutely right. Visible range. Yes, this is called PAR. That is photosynthetically active radiation. Okay, photosynthetically active radiation. So this radiation is called 400 to 700 nanometer, which is used in photosynthesis or absorbed during photosynthesis, is called PAR. What is PAR? Photosynthetically active radiation or photosynthetic active radiation. Is it clear, guys? Yes. Now the one more question. In artificial light, the process of photosynthesis takes place or not? In artificial light, the process of photosynthesis takes place or not? Tell me. This is also a very important question. This question has been asked in various competitive examinations a lot of time. Yes. So in artificial light, the process of photosynthesis takes place, because in artificial light this range is present 400 to 700 nanometer. Okay. So if the question is, in artificial light the process of photosynthesis takes place, does not takes place, your answer should be yes. In artificial light the process of photosynthesis takes place. Clear or not? Clear? It takes place. Yes, Avinash. Yes, absolutely right. Ramesh. Yes, very good. Yes, visible range. Yes, Avinash, you are absolutely right. Amit, yes, clear. Very good. Very good. Very good, guys. Keep it up. Now we are going to discuss the steps of photosynthesis, which is also very important. So we have photosynthetic pigments. In the process of photosynthesis, we have CO2, we have water, and we have energy, and this energy is absorbed by the photosynthetic pigment. The pigment is chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is a green pigment which is present in chloroplast. What is the function? It absorbs light energy. So chlorophyll is a green pigment. And what do we mean by pigments? Those substances which have a specific colors. Now we are going to discuss the mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay, mechanism of photosynthesis or steps of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is divided into two major steps, that is light reaction and dark reaction. You all know about it. So there are two steps of photosynthesis, light reaction and dark reaction. We will discuss one by one. Let's see. Light reaction, this reaction is also called Hill reaction. Okay, and it takes place in daytime or in presence of light. So direct involvement of light takes place in this reaction or this step. So this step is called light reaction, also known as Hill reaction, because the process of light reaction was explained by a scientist which is known as Hill. And where does light reaction takes place? It takes place in chloroplast. Which part of chloroplast? That is thylakoid. So suppose if the question is light reaction takes place in, your answer should be chloroplast. If chloroplast is not in option, your answer should be thylakoid. Okay, that is grana of thylakoid. Now it is named as light reaction because it takes place or it occurs only in presence of light. So it takes place only in presence of light. That's why it is called light reaction. Okay, so chloroplast contains membrane-like structures which is known as thylakoid, and thylakoids are two types. Okay, it is arranged in a stalk-like structure. This is called grana thylakoid. Okay, so you just remember it takes place in chloroplast. Which part? Thylakoid. Okay. Now, what are the major steps of this light reaction? The first step is light is, or you can say sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll. This sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll.